Hi guys, it is me, Lily. So, I decided that it is time for me to get something off of my chest, and it's something I haven't talked about with anybody um, on YouTube or anyone in my life really for a really long time. My family knows, but it's just something I don't talk about. But you might wonder why I have been single for my son's entire life. So going on 10 years. It's it's crazy for me to say those words. Every time I say them, I'm like, what? 10 years? Before I had Malloy, I always had a boyfriend or um, yeah, I always had a boyfriend or was dating somebody. There was always somebody on backup. I mean, like I always was with somebody. And I yeah, I haven't dated not once. I haven't been on a date. I haven't, you know, had a little text message relationship or you know what I mean? Like I haven't flirted with, I mean it's just been non-existent. And there's pretty much a reason for it. Um there's a couple of reasons. The main reason is I have chosen not to go searching for it. Just because of the way I was raised. My mom and dad were divorced when I was really young, and then they both got remarried a few times. Um, and I don't hold anything against them. They're humans, and they were looking for love. It just didn't work out. And so sometimes it made me angry as a child because I, you know, wanted either my parents together or wanted um, my parents' attention, and I didn't like that they were giving more attention to whoever they were married to or dating at the time, or you know what I mean. So I decided that I just wouldn't put that on Malloy. I wouldn't put that on my child. However, I did think um, I'll never have a child unless I am married and with somebody I love. So I never expected to be in the same situation as my parents or you know being an unmarried parent. I I just didn't expect it. So yeah, so that's one reason why I've stayed single. I just feel like for now I want to just put Malloy first, and I'm not closed to it though. I'm not completely closed to it. If God has somebody for me, um, He'll bring them into our life when the time is right. And until then, I'm okay. Like I've been okay. Obviously, I've been celibate that much time, as long, obviously, and that's hasn't been a problem with me, which is another really crazy thing to talk about. I'm only 35. Um, I'm a young woman, so it's like, hello. But yeah, it hasn't bothered me. I think God just kind of put that part of my life on hold for me so that I could focus on other things, like my relationship with God and bettering myself, and of course, my son. So um, that's the one reason. There's another reason too, and that is I haven't got over my last relationship, and that's what this video is going to be about. And hopefully, I can get through it without crying like a big baby. Um, but I felt like it's something I should just get out. It's been kind of weighing on me lately. I've been thinking about this person lately, um, feeling with the feeling the guilt that's involved with the whole story of our relationship, um, and it brings me down sometimes. Makes me sad. I'll hear certain songs, or going through court last week. I thought about him because I thought about how Malloy could have parents who love each other, and um, he would have been a wonderful father. This ex-boyfriend of mine. Even if we wouldn't have stayed together, he would have been an amazing, amazing father to Malloy. Strangely enough, Malloy reminds me of him a lot. A lot. So, yeah, so he comes up, and I think about him and I get sad. Well, let me tell you the story. I met him in junior high school, and I see if I can find that picture. I showed it before on one of my life in photos, I think it's called. So I probably my picture book is now falling apart. Anyway, I met him in junior high school, and we were good friends, and that was it. I thought he was cute, super cute, but I was kind of a naughty girl, and I knew that if I dated him at that age, I would probably hurt him, and we would never have a friendship, and then, we'd never have a future relationship. And so, all through junior high and high school, I chose not to date him, but we did remain really good friends. He did bring me to a dance in high school, which was really special. Other than the fact that I brought another date to. I had 2 dates that night, and I also had a boyfriend who was out of town, and I decided to bring 2 of my guy friends. And of course, they both liked me. So, the one I'm talking about, he never forgave me for that. He would bring that up even as 20 somethings. It hurt him. And I didn't know. It wasn't what I intended. But anyway, I was kind of a jerk. But anyway, so we met then and remained friends. Well, then he joined the Army, and every month or so he would send me a letter, and I have them all. They were just sweet letters, and that was it. I had boyfriends and didn't think anything else. I just thought he was a good friend. I did occasionally think, maybe I'll end up with him. He's such a good man. Maybe he'll be who I marry. But like I said, I didn't want to ruin our friendship because he just was such a wonderful guy. Okay, so then I get in my car accident. I get hit by a drunk driver. I break my pelvic bone, my back. It took, some time to walk again and da 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 da. After that, I thought, you know, life kind of flashed before my eyes, and maybe I should make some changes in life. He happened to start calling me. He was living in California. We fell in love. We fell in love over the phone, over texting and talking on the phone. And then he came to visit me. No. Let me take that back. I had a small settlement from my car accident. So, me and my brother and one of our me and my brother's one of our best friends, we went to San Diego to visit this person, and he had all these surprises for me. Candlelit apartment. He had his room. He took me back to his apartment one night, and candles everywhere, and flower petals all over the floor. Bathtub drawn with bubbles, and it was just so romantic. I'd never had anything like that in my life. Long story short, we fell in love, head over heels, in love, in love. I went home after that trip, and I couldn't live without him. So I transferred my job, and a month later, he flew down, and we took my big truck and drove to San Diego and started a life there. And it was a really wonderful time. We played house, and we just had this great little relationship, and we both had good little jobs, and we'd go to work and then we'd come home and have dinner, and you know what I mean? We just had this little life that we created out there, and it was beautiful. Um, then I started to miss my family, and it was really hard to be away from them. And so, I'll show you this picture. This is the day we took my truck to California. Oh, I should probably cover him just to, be nice. But that's when we took my big Yukon and filled it and took off to San Diego. And let's see. This was another time. This is when he was there to take me home, take me to San Diego. There we are. Oh, we were so happy. So, there we are. Oop. So, anyway, we ended up coming home from San Diego about a year later, and we moved to actually where I live now. And we got an apartment. Once again, we got our jobs. Everything was fine. There's a little more to the story. At that time, I didn't know it. I didn't realize it. But I had been addicted to pain pills like crazy. The doctors, after my car accident, just gave it to me like candy. And I needed it. I took it every day. I wasn't in my right mind. I was young. I was stupid. But I thought I had it all together. I did love him. That much was true. I wasn't unhappy or anything like that. We ended up getting a letter in the mail saying he needed to report for active duty and that he was going to go to Iraq. And he had a month to prepare. And at that point, up until that point, he had told me, he was in the reserves. And so he said, there's no way. There's no way I'll go. Don't even have that as a worry in your mind. And so I didn't. And so when we got that letter, it was like, oh my gosh, my life is over. I finally found a man who treats me like a queen, and what am I going to do? And I kind of lost it. And that very night, a friend of mine who, she's great, but she knew I was sad and tried to cheer me up in the wrong way, which was going out and drinking. And at that time, I hadn't been drinking that much because I was addicted to pain pills and didn't take them at the same time. Anyway, I ended up taking my pills and drinking that night, and ran into somebody who I should have never ran into. And I was in so much pain and worry and fear of what was going to happen when my boyfriend left, and stupid. I was stupid. And I don't remember anything else except for waking up in the morning in this other person's bed. That was one of the worst feelings of my life, waking up that morning and realizing that I wasn't home, and that my boyfriend had been calling me repeatedly. And I just think about what he was going through that night trying to reach me. If he would have done that to me, oh my God, it would have been horrible. So today, that still hurts me, that guilt of putting him through that. And of course, I made up a big lie. I couldn't tell him the truth. I made up a big lie. He knew something was wrong. So that last month together, he didn't want to believe it, and so we made the most of our last month together. But he knew. He had a feeling, and I didn't want it. I didn't want it to be true, and so I denied it and acted like it didn't happen, even though it was killing me inside. I kept thinking, he's going to go to Iraq. What if something horrible happens to him, and then I have this secret? And it was awful. he ends up leaving. I still remember clearly the day at the airport, helping him get ready that day and putting his uniform on. And I said I'm not going to cry in this video, and I'm not going to saying goodbye to him. That was the last time I ever saw him. Um, he didn't die, so don't worry. He's alive. But saying goodbye to him was really hard. Not knowing if I was going to ever see him again and if he'd make it back. Anyway, he went to Georgia for some training before he was going to leave, and he called me, and everything was great until one day he called and he said, I know that you did something wrong that night, and I can't go on not knowing. And if you love me, you'll tell me. And I did. I told him. And he was very, very angry at me, and pretty much hung up on me. And besides a few emails back and forth, that was the last time I ever talked to him. Ever. And throughout the years, I've had times where I've just kind of randomly sent him an email and just said, like, I'm hoping that you're doing well, and I'm still so sorry, and I hope that you can forgive me someday. And then obviously I get pregnant by somebody shortly after. And so that was like, if I had heard him, if I hadn't heard him horribly already, then he finds out, here I am pregnant. Hello. And all that time we had been together, we weren't like not trying. So for me to get pregnant right after he leaves, it's just ridiculous and awful. But Malloy is the best thing that has ever happened to me. Ever, 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 ever. And so if that meant losing that boyfriend in order for my life to change and go down this route, no matter how hard it's been, it is worth every second of it, because my son I'm in love with him more than anybody else in this entire world. I mean, he's my world. But as far as a romantic love, I haven't been in love since that guy. And to this day, I know some friends still see him. Some of my brothers still keep in touch with him once in a while. But he can't forgive me. He can't move past it. And I have dreams about him all these years later. I have dreams about him just showing up at my door and just saying, hi, Lily and Malloy, I'm home. Like, it's ridiculous. I know. I don't know. I thought I forgave myself, but I don't think I have. I don't know how. I've tried. I really have. I think until he can tell me that he forgives me and really means it, I don't know how I can forgive myself, which is ridiculous because God forgives me, and God doesn't want me living with that. So, yeah, since then, and since having Malloy, I've kind of rededicated myself to God. And even if he were to come back today, unless he was a Christian and had changed his ways, I wouldn't be able to be with him anyway. But I do still, crazy enough, have a little hope in my heart that God will bring him to Malloy and I, which is just crazy. I know. Please don't judge me or think any less of me, you guys. I made a really poor choice. I was young and I was stupid, and I've been sober almost 9 years on May 5th. Celibate, single. I don't know if that would mean anything to him at this point, but when you love someone, you love someone, and my heart still feels love for him. And I didn't cry. Yay! Yeah, so I've been meaning to share this story. I've talked about it a few times and said, someday I'll tell you, someday I'll tell you. I decided tonight I would sit down and tell you guys. And yeah, so that's my last love story. Um, and I don't know what God has in store for me in the future as far as a relationship goes. It might not be till Malloy is 18 and going to college. It might be next year. I have no idea. I don't know. But I'm not going to be going on dating sites and going out on dates and bringing guys around my son. And I will just kind of wait. And if it does come to me, I will give it a chance. I'm not going to be totally closed to it. But my heart still is in love with my last boyfriend. So my family thinks I'm crazy and should probably get over it by now, but I just can't. I just can't. Simply, I just can't. And that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed listening to my love story, and I really hope that you guys don't judge me or think any less of me. Um, I just like to be honest with my friends, and I consider you guys my friends. And it might help you understand me and my story a little bit better. So um, feel free to ask me any questions you want. Thanks for listening, you guys.